Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Mana Concept Lab Pro. So in this video I'm going to explain about encapsulation, which is one of the most important concepts in object oriented programming. And this concept is very important not only for Java programming but also for interviews because many interview questions are based on this concept. And in this video we will understand what encapsulation actually is, why it is important and how it provides security to data and how it actually works internally with simple examples step by step. So make sure to watch the video till the end to clearly understand the concept clearly about encapsulation. What is encapsulation? Encapsulation is one of the important principles in Java where data means variables and methods means functions are combined into a single unit called a class. The main purpose of encapsulation is data hiding. That means the data should not be accessed directly from outside the class. In simple words, encapsulation means hiding the data and allowing access only through control methods. To understand this clearly, think of a capsule here. Inside the capsule, everything is packed and protected together. You cannot directly access what is inside the capsule. You can use it only in a controlled way. Similarly, in Java, variables are hidden by declaring them as a private, and access is provided through the public methods like getters and setters. And this helps in providing the better security control and protection to the data. Now let's understand how encapsulation is actually achieved in Java. Encapsulation is achieved using two things. One is private data variables and the second one is public getter and setter methods. First, private data variables. Variables are declared as private so that they cannot be accessed directly from outside the class. This helps in hiding the data and protecting it from unauthorized access. And the next one is getter and setter methods. Getter methods are used to get or read the data from the private variables. Setter methods are used to set or update the data safely by applying some conditions or validations. So, instead of directly accessing the variables, we access them indirectly through methods. This gives us better control and security over the data. Now let me explain how private variables, getter methods and setter methods work with the simple examples. Now, after seeing how encapsulation is achieved in Java, you might get one question that why do we actually need encapsulation? The main reason is data protection. Encapsulation helps us protect the data from wrong or unauthorized modifications. Instead of allowing the direct access to variables, we control the access using methods which makes the program more secure and reliable. For example, think about a student's age. Age should never be negative, 0, unrealistic like 500. But if the variable is declared as public, anyone can directly access it and modify it even with the incorrect values. Let's understand this with an example program here. Here we have a class students and we declared a variable with public and we have a main class and we created an object for that class and we are calling s.age is equals to -5. We have a public variable called int age here. Since it is declared as public, anyone can access and modify it from outside the class. Because of that, writing something like s.age is equals to -5 becomes possible. Java accepts it because there is no restrictions and no validation checking. So the computer simply stores the age as -5. But in real life, a student can never have an age of -5, right? So the data becomes invalid and incorrect. And this problem is called a data integrity problem, which means storing bad or invalid data inside the program. Now let's take a real life example. Imagine if your bank account balance was public. Anyone could directly change it to 10,000 or even 900 crores. That would be very dangerous. So, what do banks do? They hide the data and allow access only through the proper rules and validations. The same concept is used in Java through encapsulation. Instead of making the variable public, we hide the data using the private variables. Now, nobody can directly write s.age is equals to -5, and if they try, Java gives an error because direct access is not allowed. Then the question is, how do we set the and get the age values? For that, we create a setter method. Inside that method, we can check whether the value is valid or not before storing it. This is how encapsulation helps in protecting and controlling the data. In the previous example, we understood how variables work when they are declared as public, which means without using encapsulation. Now in this example, let's see how encapsulation works using private variables. And also, we will understand how setter methods are used to assign values and how getter methods are used to access those values in a controlled way. Here we have a student class and we made the variable age as private. Because of this, statements like s.age is equals to 20 and s.age is equals to -5 in the main method are not allowed. And even system.out.println s.age is also not allowed. But why? Because private means the variable can only be accessed inside the same class. It cannot be directly accessed from outside the class. So now the question is, if we cannot directly access the age variable, then how do we set the value or read the value? The answer is using setter and getter methods. First, let's understand the setter method. Here we have a method called public void set age. Right? This method is used to set or to update the value of the private variable. In simple words, setter means setting the data. Now, suppose this line executes. Which line? S dot set age will execute. When Java sees this statement, it goes to the set age method here. After executing this line as dot set age, Java will go to public void set age method. Then what it will do? Internally, the method receives the value 20 and then the condition inside the setter method is checked. What is the condition? If age is greater than 0. Then if it satisfies, then the value gets stored in the private variable age. So instead of directly changing the variable, setter method controls how the value should be updated using the conditions. Now let's understand the getter method here. Public int get age as a getter method. In simple words, getter means getting the data. Here we wrote s dot set age and s dot get age. After writing that, when Java sees this, it goes to get age method. Inside that method, the stored age value is returned back, then that returned value gets printed using system.out.println. So, getter methods help us safely read the private data and setter methods help us safely update the private data. This is how encapsulation provides controlled access and protects the data in Java. So, finally, let's understand the rules and guidelines of encapsulation. The first rule is declare the data as private. Why do we do this? Because private variables help in hiding the data and prevent direct access from outside the class, and this provides better security and protection to the data. And the second rule is using getter and setter methods. Getter methods are used to read the data safely and setter methods are used to update the data safely with proper validation. And instead of directly accessing the variables, we use these methods to provide controlled access to the data. And the third rule is use proper access modifiers. Access modifiers define who can access the data and methods inside the class. Now let's understand the purpose of each access modifier. First one is private. The purpose of private is to hide the data. Variables declared as private can only be accessed inside the same class. Next, public. The purpose of public is to allow access from anywhere. Usually getter and setter methods are declared as public so that other classes can use them. And finally, protected. Protected allows access within the same package and also through inheritance in child classes. So by using private variables, public getter and setter methods and proper access modifiers, encapsulation helps us achieve data hiding, security and controlled access in Java. So that's it for this video guys. I hope you understood the concept of encapsulation clearly and learned how private variables, getter methods and setter methods work in Java. If you found this video helpful and gained some valuable information, then please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Your support motivates me to create more and more programming and Java concepts in a simple and easy way for you. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video.